So this episode really pisses me off. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome once again to episode 3 of the J12 series, the worst movie characters according to me, mainly moi, Grandpa Joe from Willy Wonka, and Jenny from Forrest Gump. Okay, before I go off into a tangent, I want to give my best feelings, my best thoughts to all of those out there that are being affected right now by COVID-19. We're all gonna get through this. So once again, let me tell you guys, all these stories I tell you throughout this entire series, this first season, right in front of you, are all 100% true. It came from me. They're all my stories, all my feelings, just to make you guys laugh in case some of you are in lockdown or quarantine or just trying to do social distancing. We are gonna laugh our asses off at the expense of me for your entertainment. Most of you have heard me, or some of you have heard me go off on this tangent before, especially about that greedy, no good, selfless, garbage-ridden trash bag person that is known as Grandpa Joe. And in order for me to speak more eloquently, I think we need a better setting to speak about this horrific movie character that cared nothing about himself or his grandson that was seemingly in child forced labor, and take everything from him without even asking beforehand, Grandpa Joe. I couldn't think of a better place than to talk about that piece of shit, Grandpa Joe. Now let me tell you something about him that I thought about this ever since I was a little kid. Think about it. Charlie Bucket. Okay? Kid's as happy as can be. He lives in a one-room house. I don't even think he has his own bedroom. It's possible he does. I doubt it. He works all day. What are the child labor laws, all right? First of all, I don't know where this movie is supposed to take place. It looks like it takes place in Bavaria. Is it England? I have no idea. But once again, I digress. This movie pisses me off that much. So, the beginning of the movie, you see all these kids go down to the Candyman. They give her all this free candy. Doesn't ask for any cent. Charlie Bucket busts his ass. And he gets, I don't know, pittance. He probably doesn't get much, probably a quarter or something. Goes to the candy store, asks for a Wonka bar, and of course the Candyman asks him for money. What kind of bullshit is that? Ask him for money. So later on, Charlie Bucket doesn't get the final golden ticket. It goes to some 35-year-old guy or 40-year-old guy in Paraguay. Now imagine that movie with Charlie Bucket out of it and a grown-up dude from Paraguay meeting Willy Wonka. That would be pretty amazing, pretty damn weird. But once again, this movie puts me off in a tangent, and I don't even mean to. So Charlie finds a real golden ticket because the Paraguayan guy had a fake one in a storm drain. This kid is so desperate to meet Willy Wonka, he finds one in a storm drain. He gets excited, books ass home, books it home. And then 4 of his grandparents, one bed, haven't moved in over 20 years, definitely got a stink. His mom works like a night job at a hotel or something. You know, she busts her ass too. He comes home all excited, I got a golden ticket. And what does this guy do? Grandpa Joe. He's gonna claim the ticket. Be like, hey Charlie, we're going together. Look at me, look at me. I haven't moved in 20 years. All of a sudden, he gets up, starts dancing, prancing around. Look at me, Charlie. Look at me, look at me. We're going. I've got a golden ticket. It's ours, Charlie. That song alone pisses me off. It's ours, Charlie. No, it isn't. It's Charlie's ticket. Charlie, the one who is working, who I'm pretty damn sure is like 11 or 12. Meanwhile, you're laying on your bed. Haven't moved in over 20 years. Guaranteed, there's piss and shit everywhere that Mrs. Bucket probably cleans off of you. But now you can just get up, dance around, walk around, no thank you, no nothing. I've got a golden ticket. It's ours, Charlie. Grandpa Joe, really? Seriously? You're a real piece of shit. And don't get me started with his other 3 grandparents. At least Grandma Josephine, I think that's her name, got really excited about making Charlie a sweater with tassels on it. Kudos, Grandma Josephine. At least you have some sort of drive. And then don't get me started with Grandpa George and Grandma Georgina. Grandpa George has no eyes. He has no eyes. No eyes. Grandma Georgina, I'm pretty sure she sleeps the entire time. Could be a narcoleptic, I don't know. But all of a sudden he comes home with a golden ticket. Everybody comes alive. Even Grandpa George with no eyes comes alive. Grandpa Joe dancing around, singing a song, making sure he gets credit for it. I didn't see him stick his ass down into a storm drain to get that golden ticket. Now, did you? Did I? Did you? So let's fast forward. Grandpa Joe got the ability to walk and take care of himself, clean, piss and shit on his own after 20 years. After 20 years. We're going to the Wonka factory. Let's go. Grandpa Joe and his little quips and his little rhetoric seems to just not work real well. It just agitates me even more. And then at one point, Grandpa Joe decides to break the rules. I didn't see Charlie breaking the rules. The other kids broke the rules, and they were murdered for it. Make no mistake about it, they were murdered. They weren't squeezed. They weren't sent to an egg pressing room. No, they were murdered. Straight up, Willy Wonka is a murder factory. Don't let that fool you. So, they go into the fizzy lifting room. Grandpa Joe, knowing the contract that he signed at the very beginning, what he's supposed to do and what he's not supposed to do, convinces Charlie, an 11 or 12-year-old boy, hey, let's drink this, what will it hurt? He sounds like one of those drug pushers in an ABC afternoon special. Here, man, try this. Take a hit of this. Take a snort of this. It won't hurt you. So Grandpa Joe basically is a rule-breaking drug pusher. He takes a drink of the fizzy lifting juice and then forces Charlie to follow. And what happens? They lift up and 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 up to the point where Grandpa Joe almost kills not only himself, which he should have to begin with, but almost kills Charlie too. Almost kills Charlie too with the fan. And then, as if some miracle happened, they realized, oh, if you burp, you can come down to planet Earth. So, at the end of the tour, Grandpa Joe and Charlie are left. And Willy Wonka calls him out on his rule breaking, saying, sorry, sir, you two get nothing. And that's how the movie should have ended. The movie should have ended because Grandpa Joe ruined it for an 11-year-old boy who worked multiple jobs, broke child labor laws, reached into a storm drain to get the golden ticket to meet his idol, his role model. And Grandpa Joe nearly murdered him and nearly cost him everything. Thank God Willy Wonka had a heart. Because if Willy Wonka didn't have a heart, guess what would happen? I guarantee you in that very fine print in the bottom of that contract, they would have went to jail. Jail, whether it be in Bavaria where it looks like they filmed it, or in England where they probably filmed it. But they would have ended up in jail, and guess what? Charlie would have gotten taken away from his mom. The rest of his 3 grandparents tassel Grandma Josephine, no eyes Grandpa George, and always asleep Grandma Georgina, who knows where they would have been sent off to? Who knows? Because of Grandpa Joe's actions. Grandpa Joe is by far, the biggest piece of shit in movie history. And before I hit record, I want to give a big shout out to Charlie Bucket, because that kid had all the heart in the world. He just wanted to make everybody happy. He took care of his mom, he took care of his grandparents, and what did he want? Just a mere chocolate bar, a chance to meet his idol. And one older man, one Grandpa Joe, who decided, I'm going to start walking and get rid of this lie I've been living for 20 years. He almost took it away from him, almost killed him, and almost sent his family into not even the one little room house that they had, but right out on the street. And then guess what would have happened? Charlie would have tried to at least get more candy, but you know that greedy ass candy man would have asked him for money while the other kids come in and just take all the candy they want. Those kids are a microcosm, the epitome of Grandpa Joe. Think about it. The beginning of the movie shows those kids get whatever they want. Then Grandpa Joe gets whatever he wants. And he almost kills Charlie and puts his family in destitute. Fuck Grandpa Joe. I'm done with you. You're the worst movie character ever. But I have somebody to back that one up. So let's talk about the little Miss Jenny. Number 2 on my list of the worst movie characters. I had to have a male. You have to have a female. And that female is Jenny from Forrest Gump. Hi, Jenny. You are another real piece of shit. Forrest Gump, a real wholesome individual. Brought up with disabilities, overcame those disabilities, went to Vietnam, got shot in the buttocks, befriended Lieutenant Dan. He always said, I may not be small, but I know what love is. He was just a simple guy. All he wanted to do was make his mama proud. His mama slept with a principal or a member of the Board of Education to make sure he got his schooling. He ended up becoming a spokesman for a Flexo-Lite ping pong paddle. He went to China during the Nixon administration when the border started opening up. He was an ambassador to the country, went to China and played ping pong against the very best, put his body on the line in Vietnam, got shot, became best friends with Bubba. That was his best friend. He understood him. They were two simple guys. And throughout all this journey, from the 50s all the way into the 80s, into the 90s, there was one constant. Jenny. At the beginning, we meet Jenny and Forrest. They're young kids growing up, probably around 8 or 9. And then Jenny's dad abused her. But who was always there to pick her up when she was down? It was Forrest. And no matter what, Forrest had 2 principles in his life. His mama and Jenny. Unfortunately, his mama died. Mama Gump was an amazing woman. We love Mama Gump. If I ever did a movie thing about movie characters that I love, Mama Gump would be on there. Same with Forrest, same with Bubba, same with Lieutenant Dan. But Jenny. Ho, ho, ho. Woo, woo, woo. Jenny. Where shall we start, Jenny? Where shall we start? After Mama Gump died. I give Jenny credit at first, unlike Grandpa Joe. Grandpa Joe was a real piece of shit. Jenny is only a slight piece of shit. Mama Gump dies. Jenny was there. Jenny took Forrest's virginity. Forrest expressed his love for her, but it wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough. So what did Jenny do? Just like she kept telling Forrest to do, run, Forrest, run. Well then, when love came into the picture, Jenny, you ran. Run, Jenny, run. That's what you did. You ran, you ran, you ran, and you ran your ass right out of Greenbow, Alabama. Then you became a drug-addicted stripper hooker. But did Forrest give up on you? No. While you were gallivanting across the countryside, going from one hippie party to one hippie party to a drug banger party to another drug banger party, what did Forrest think of you when he was down in the muck in Da Nang or Saigon or wherever? Jenny. I want to get back to Jenny because she was a beautiful girl I first ever seen. Jenny. Got it, Jenny. Meanwhile, Forrest comes back, rehabs from getting shot. What happens? Jenny breaks his heart again. Now, if you remember in the movie, before he gets sent to Vietnam, he runs into Jenny in D.C. He starts getting acquainted again, like all talking old pleasantries. Then Jenny's with some piece of shit guy. And then he's worried about her, so he follows her to the Black Panther Party. He ends up beating the shit out of that guy after he laid a hand on her. Forrest stood up for Jenny. And what did Jenny do? She ran. She ran again. She breaks his heart every single time. She breaks his heart. How messed up is that? She breaks his heart. So, in the end, Forrest comes home, establishes a life, makes all that millions and millions of dollars from catching shrimp, opens up the Bubblegum Shrimp Company. Jenny comes home too. They sleep together, which is okay. Maybe Jenny's starting to make amends. You're a real man, Forrest, and I love you. Jenny's dying. Dying of AIDS. It was the early 80s. It was running rampant. And who was there to pick her up when she was down? Forrest. Forrest. Jenny just rode all over him. Walked all over him. Went from there, here, and everywhere. Well, he was thinking about her all the time, and all he wanted to do was love her. All he wanted to do was have her love. And all she ever did was just step on his back and walk all over him. Just having fun with everybody, and in the back of her mind, all Forrest is there. He's an idiot. He'll just suck it up and deal with it. What the hell is that? Like, seriously, what the hell is that? So, poof, in the end, look, Jenny has a little boy. Forrest's like, Jenny, you got a little boy. And she's like, I named him Forrest after his daddy. She named him after his daddy. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. How old is this kid already now? 5 or 6? She just decides now to say, hey, you're a dad. Forrest, not even being upset, takes the mantle of being a true dad and cries and goes, is he dumb like me? No. Smart. The kid is smart. He's an ace. He's an ace. Jenny ends up dying, and Forrest ends up taking care of her. Even after death, Forrest puts her under the tree they hung out as a kid, and he decides to raise Forrest Jr. without her. Jenny was a real piece of shit. Think about that, though. If she would have just stuck with him, the amazing life. Not saying that Forrest Gump didn't have an amazing life. He did. He met so many people. He broke up a Black Panther Party. He met JFK, said he had to pee, stayed at the hotel, but he went everywhere. But imagine if Jenny got her head out of her ass for 2 damn seconds, how much more of an amazing life it would have been. It would have been more complete for him. It would have eased the pain of going through the death of his mother. But she ran. She's banging heroin into her arm. I cannot even listen to Freebird anymore without seeing her standing off the edge of a balcony, hearing Freebird in the background while she's banging heroin. So Jenny, you're a real piece of shit too. So now, it's your turn, guys. Who do you think's worse? Do you think it's Grandpa Joe? Or do you think it's Jenny? Now you decide. Put in the comments below. Who do you think is a bigger piece of garbage? I can't decide. It's difficult. Because they're both equally mad. And these two characters piss me off like no degree. Yes, I know it's a movie. It's fiction. But come on, people. Think about it. An ingrate and an ingrate. Let me take from you, let me take from you. They're equally one and the same person. Except maybe Grandpa Joe didn't bang heroin into his arm and went to a Black Panther party and got pregnant. Now that would have made a hell of a Willy Wonka movie if Grandpa Joe got pregnant in the same bed with 3 other older people. Think about that. I'm just saying, whatever. But I hope you liked this episode number 3 of the J12 series, Grandpa Joe versus Jenny. Make sure you tune in next week for another amazing episode of What the fuck are you talking about here on the J12 series. Once again, everybody, thank you for watching. Please smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and also remember to put the bell on to remind you the next time I upload and put a video on this channel. Once again, everybody, spread the word. Thank you again. I love you guys. Goodbye. Good night. Stay safe. Socially distance yourself. And remember, these times might suck, but we will get out on the other side together. All right, guys. Love you. Bye.